Hey, you feeling these vibes then? You feeling these vibes there, Danny boy? Okay, it's fine. The song continues.
Okay.
Your whole album dropping end of September.
Now I'm recording. There we go. Okay. Phew. Ah, yes.
All right. Just sample this for a second, Dan. Let me know what you think.
You remember last time when you said that, oh no, I'm the one who's going to make sure I clear this and blah, 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 blah.
Nothing happened. Yes, I cleared it.
No, it
Nothing
didn't.
happened with the
I can't remember which song it was now. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
What you're referring to is the Superman theme song. That's the last time we had any copyright issues, and it was just muted on YouTube.
I don't want to make our corporate overlords angry, Phil.
Anyway, guys, we're starting it right. We're starting it good this week. Back to high energy, back to the vibes. You know what I mean? We've been starting a little low vibe, low energy, low frequency, because we're scared of it. Takedown us. We will not be shut down.
So
We will not be silenced.
I'm experimenting with using Gemini to assist with production of this show. And it really keeps bringing up a story about Rihanna. So I'm like, okay, can you please give me the source of this story? And it's a whole, it crafted this whole, like, listen, there could be this really dope angle discussing about how taking your time, crafting an album, even though people are demanding an album for it. I was like, okay, what are you talking about? And just give me a link to a YouTube video with 18 views where someone made a fan edit of Rihanna.
Yo, Danny. Yo.
Dead
we're dropping
internet
the
theory
ball
is
here.
real, brother.
This is what we need to be doing. We just need to be flooding the zone with pro Two Broke Twimbos propaganda,
I'm telling you.
and then we'll be good to go.
Phil, if right now we created just 100 AI slop websites and each of them just say Two Broke Twimbos is the best African podcast, so that when people use Gemini or ChatGPT just to search for African podcasts,
You know what? And we could do this in an hour. We'd be done.
done. I'm shook.
You
Some
hear an annoying story.
yeah.
And hear an annoying story about this podcast. You know, Dad, I think like you and I have worked hard. You know, where we might not be where we want to be, but we've come a long way, especially since we started the podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anjika, people look up to us. You know, people report to us. You know. So I was called. I was called over to a workshop at the Rainbow Towers. I was doing a panel discussion, and you know Jay Bandit, the guy that does the TikToks that talk about like technology or economics in Zimbabwe and stuff like that. Like
I think
he
I
was
know
also moderating a panel.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And then there was Mox. So Mox is there as well. Mox is the MC. So the other thing is my session was between 11 and 12. You know,
Yeah.
I would like to be, but I can't afford in this juncture right now to do the whole day at a workshop. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I came an hour before my panel. I did my session. I stayed for a bit. Then I went back to work. And I think because of that, he wasn't properly briefed on my bio, which should have been availed to him.
Yeah.
So everyone else is getting these glowing introductions. Yo, this is so-and-so, MD of such and such. They've done A, B, C, D, E, this, that, and the third. They've won these awards, blah, 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 blah. This is Mrs. So-and-so, former ambassador, this, that, and the third. Bish, bash, bosh. Lovely introduction.
Yep.
Gets to me. Ha, it's my brother, Phil Chad. The host of this great podcast, Two Broke Twimbos. I don't even know if they're Twimbos anymore. Do you guys now call yourself the Two Broke Exes? I was like, my nigga, Mox, I know you're like you're trying to crack jokes right now, but this is a serious environment, my G. Like this is a serious platform.
So this is Mox.
Like you're making me sound like it's amateur hour over here. I wanted to kill him. I wanted to kill him so bad.
Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was also part of. So I was at the residence of the Canadian Embassy for an indaba around the use of AI in the production of radio broadcasting. So I was asked to make a presentation. Apparently, they were hosting a prominent guest who's like the former deputy managing editor of CNN, who started his own company that is like introducing AI into emerging markets or whatever. Like he's like some big deal in that space. So he was a guest in Zim, and he was doing a presentation for Zimbabwean radio stations and what you could use some of these new technologies and blah blah blah. So I think he came, he had prepared just as a quick aside to what I was about to mention, he came and he prepared his talking points. I was like, listen, I gotta encourage you guys. Have you used some of these tools? And these people were like, brother. We don't even know what ChatGPT is. We've heard about it.
Wait, what? The people that are responding with this?
This
is people in radio?
To be fair, so it was primarily targeted at community radio stations. So it'll be like much smaller radio stations in remote areas and so on.
Yeah. I think we also take that for granted, just like how big the digital divide is in this country.
Absolutely. Even I had, because I was asked to also present, like you're at a more mainstream radio station. So if you could also do a presentation that's a little bit more, that can help some of our younger brothers, blah, 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 blah. So I went there because I was like, okay, some good context to make, and then I had to, like on the fly, as I was hearing who we were speaking to, I had to completely change what I was going to talk about. Because I was going to sit there and I was going to be like, you guys have to understand, like with AI summaries, we have to understand that the digital transformation that's happening. And I was like, whoa.
The first question I always ask when I'm run for workshops, and I learned this the hard way, is like, what percentage of your attendees are computer literate? What percentage of them have their own laptops? You'll be surprised how low those numbers are.
Super low. But anyway, that wasn't the reason I brought it up. The reason I brought it up is because, again, when I introduced myself, there was someone who was like, Denny, that guy. How's the podcast? And I was like, hey, I feel we got to work on our branding, man. Someone just knows that there's a podcast, but that's good. That's as far as they went.
Well, you know what? I think we should hire T-Base. T-Base should come on board as our business development and branding manager.
No, you're right.
And then we'll move forward.
I mean, how many parties can there be in Dubai? 3 a week? 4 a week?
Yeah.
The rest of the time, you should be working on the business case for Two Broke Twimbos.
Actually, yeah. We should actually head out to Dubai. It's actually, there's some opportunities there, Dan. We should head out there.
I don't know, man. I feel weird about that place, but it's cool.
We could find a princess. A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view.
I can't even be mad. I can't, like, do you know what? Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you.
French Montana is he's essentially the male baddie. He's our male. What's her name again? Lori Harvey. French Montana is the male Lori Harvey. What's the last French Montana song you've heard?
Our male what?
Splash Brothers. I said, what was the last French Montana song you remember hearing? Outside of Splash Brothers, brah, I can't. Maybe Unforgettable.
And you
it's Splash Brothers and
Unforgettable. How ironic! What an ironic song.
Be singing to her. I started to be singing to her, bro.
So look. Actually, when I read that news, I was just like, "Hey, shout out to my mans." Anyway, Phil, let's start the show. The audiences are here. They want the ritual. They crave it, Phil. They crave it. That's what helps them know that the show has officially started. We are within.
All protocol observed.
So I have to ask: are y'all
good to go?
Are y'all
good to go? Good to go.
Sound of it, sing them.
Get mad now.
Let me hear a drum play.
Get mad now.
Welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast. This is Two Bro Twimbos. My name's Danny that guy, aka Danos the Mad Titan, aka Denfoot, Wikmaraini, aka Denimbi, my life, your entertainment, aka y'all know if there's any 18 to 22-year-old girls out there, I have an exclusive opportunity. What is wrong with y'all? Aka Akuna Moment Done Move.
That's right. Here with all the unmistakable, the irrefutable, you will not catch me pushing weird scammables unless it makes me moneyable. Full shot, aka Flip Flows, Big Boss, aka Pizza P, aka Sex Lovo, aka Filthy Phil, aka Elon Musk. With protest, aka somebody taking a drink. What's up, guys? What's up going on? You good? You strong? What's going on, guys? How you guys out there? Let us know. You know, send a mail. twobroketwimbos.com/contact. And let us know how you feel.
Have we ever said this on this podcast?
We're here for you.
/contact.
No, we haven't. And I've realized, like, the people that actually email us are looking. Like, they go to the website and they're like, yo.
Hey, I like it. I like it when people send in their, like, situations and their stories. And I feel like we have something to say. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Situation.
If you want free therapy from two qualified, highly qualified, but not in the field that that counts here, but still
twobroketwimbos.com/contact, and you will be able to message us directly. You know what? Maybe I should shorten it. No, it's fine. It's fine like that. Huh? twobroketwimbos.com/contact. I'm sure listeners can type.
So, let's get started straight away and start with Africans doing it big. Now, look. I'm not going to read any of the names that were suggested to me by Gemini because I haven't had time to verify them. However, what I do know is that the day of recording, we're recording on a Thursday. Tomorrow is the first Zim Achievers Awards to be held in Zimbabwe. Don't you think that's wild? Don't you think that's crazy? The Zimbabwe Achievers Awards, the very first one to be held in Zimbabwe after, I think, over a decade.
Coming home.
Big shout out to Zim Achievers Awards for coming home, but they're going to be held this weekend. Ain't nobody send me an invite.
Wait, did they call you?
No.
Well, they're not going to invite me.
Nope.
But
why wouldn't they invite you, Phil?
Yeah, because they nominated me once, and then I was like, dope, good looking out, thanks for the nomination. They're like, oh yeah, please pay your nomination fee. I was like, wait, what? They're like, yeah, £250. I'm like, you nominated me and I have to pay. They're like, yeah, if you want to get a seat at your table and attend. I was like, you guys can take that $250 and shove it sideways. And then they never called me back.
The only person who mentioned it to me. So the one of the nominees, Kim Jade, she received her letter, which made her cry live on Instagram. So, you know, I reacted to the story, you know. I put an encouraging emoji. And then she's like, oh, dope, you coming, right? I was like, oh, look, this is awkward. I wasn't really invited, but, you know, I will be supporting you in spirit. That's what I said.
No, you can be invited then, as long as you pay.
Yeah, no, well,
if you contact them and you tell them.
That's different to being invited. Phil, that's the exact opposite of being, you're saying if I contact them and pay.
But okay, well, you know what? I can't speak for their current practices, so let me not cast aspersions on them. But I as far as I remember, the last time I was nominated and the last time I know someone I know was nominated, that was their spiel.
Yeah, I mean, still.
Actually, you asked my sister when she was nominated, did she have to pay? I actually haven't asked about that. Let me ask her.
Well, anyway, shout out to all the Zimbabweans who've been nominated for the inaugural Zimbabwe version of the Zim Achievers Awards.
You know, I just realized something. Time. Like, hey, which other family has two siblings nominated for Zim Achievers Awards? Come on now.
I'm gonna list some of the nominees. There's too many of them. They're obviously all Zimbabweans, but I'm just gonna rattle the names out there. All right. So, there's over 50 Zimbabweans will be honored at the Zimbabwe Achievers Awards ceremony that will be held this weekend. These include Tich Mataza, Joan Jagu, Bevan Makaka, Paida Hlambelo, Fungai Shirawa, oh, shout out to Kush, Scott McMillian, Feli Nandi, DJ Fantan, really? Tabitha Levi, Melody, is there her name? Or Melody Mangengesha, Josephine Shritsai, oh, Josie Mahachi. Shout out to Josie. Hey, what up? Josie's the one. She brought Don Jazzy and anyway. Mona Lisa Chisango, John Makombe, Taponeso Mavunga. Hey, Taps, what's good? Hey, Taps is in the country. We need to link up at some point. I can't believe.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Brian Soko, Munyaradzi Chanyetsa, and of course, as I mentioned, Kimberly Robinson, aka Kim Jade, among several others. I've just listed the ones that were highlighted in the Herald article about this particular story. So yeah, so there's a bunch of Zimbabweans that will be celebrated, especially Zimbabweans doing big things in the diaspora. You know what, Phil? I can't believe the Zim Achievers Awards doesn't sponsor the Zimbabweans doing a big segment on Two Broke Twimbos. We need to get serious.
Yeah. Once again, speaking of, did you call that other person that wanted to advertise back?
I did not, but it's okay.
So I think you've kind of answered your own question there.
That's okay.
You can't really get sponsors if you fail to respond to the ones that already want to sponsor with us.
You know what, Phil? It's a passion project, you know? It's a passion project.
Hakuna bizdiff yakade.
Yes, shout out to the Africans doing it big. Oh, snap. There was a couple of people that were mentioned. Last week, I spoke about a Zimbabwean referee who was going to be refereeing Premier League games, and I said the wrong name. His name is hold on.
Did they get in touch?
No. It's only later on when I was listening to the thing back, when I was listening to the episode back, I was like, wait, that's not the name of the person. So the Zimbabwean-born referee who will be marking his EPL debut this season is Farai Halam. I can't remember what name I said, but it was absolutely the wrong surname. So yeah, so he was the fourth official in Liverpool versus Bournemouth.
Nice.
Or will be Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool haven't played Bournemouth yet. Anyway, the point is he's now going to be an officiating Premier League matches. So yeah, just wanted to quickly correct the name that I said last week. Yeah. So Phil, what you want to talk about?
Well, Dan, you know, when you podcast, you speak into a microphone, and it's a great process, you know, especially like as a podcast, you've got to remember every week, you've got to be prepared, you know, you got to have talking points, and you've got to be able to speak about them authoritatively for quite a bit of time. And I think it's important that, you know, we do that. We prepare and we have topics ready to go. And we don't waste our listeners' time.
Absolutely. What we wouldn't want is a podcast that spends a lot of time, especially early in the podcast, just really putting together words in a word salad,
you know,
waffling.
When the momentum is there, you know, you don't want to lose that momentum. You know, that's when people tune out. You know, that's when this drop off and so forth.
And in an environment where there are so many things competing for attention, whether it's social media or various forms of different media, or really just anything else that you could find interest in, whether it's on your phone, you don't want a situation where you just start talking about things that might, you know, chase people away. So we will absolutely avoid doing that on this podcast.
Yeah. So I found what we can talk about. Oh, dang it, I lost. Dang it.
All right, there's several things that we have to talk about. All right, we're just messing around.
Wait, actually, I want to open this. This is actually hilarious. How did you get your opinions on this?
I mean, don't you want to talk about the Rihanna effect, Phil? Is it bad for an artist to take their time before finally releasing a body of work?
What is going on with these people? Yeah, here we go.
Like that's how honest I would be. If we don't create that type of a relationship with the Lord, we limit how much He can help us and save us from the things that are drowning us. And it's not only with sexual desires that you need to be that honest with the Lord with. It is with those dark thoughts where you think there is no ways that a God that is so loving and pure could still love me after expecting.
That's right. So the gospel there, you know, I was going to say that brings a whole new meaning to come to the Lord, but you know, I won't touch that. But
Phil, this is a family podcast. We have
I'm quoting scripture.
we have
I'm
people
quoting scripture.
that listen to this podcast with their kids in the car.
And they are these are Christian people.
Shout out
But
Titi.
it's
Hope
also
you're doing
important-
well. Hope everything's going well. Tell the kids I said what up. If they have any questions about what we're talking about, it's all church stuff.
But yeah, how transparent are you with your relationship with our Lord, Dad? Like, do you?
I mean, he be knowing.
Well, obviously now
You know what I'm
because
saying?
you're married. You married. now, so-
Yeah. He be known. By the way, this week, I don't know what happened this week, but for some reason, multiple people came across that 6 foot weights episode.
Which
The
one?
one the one where we told our stories and yours got cut out, but mine stayed in.
Oh, what? People keep hitting you?
Yeah, at church. So,
No, they're just waiting to find you. Because I think now everyone was like,
I think it's circulated in some group somewhere or whatever. I don't know, but anyway.
Can you imagine the discussion during the lunch break? There he is. There.
Anyway, Phil, let's talk about some serious issues. There's some African influences that are wilding. So I want everyone to know that I'm reading this I'm not reading this from Zimbabwean or South African tabloid.
No.
It's not even a South African
We're global.
traditional news media outlet. I'm reading this directly from BBC. Now, this is not BBC Africa, by the way. I'm
She
reading
skipped
this.
that one.
Yeah,
Went straight to the
I'm
head
reading this
office.
directly from the BBC World. BBC.com/news/this story. That's where I am. So, South African influencer Cyan Boujee, real name Onazuma. Side note, no relation?
I don't know, man.
Anyway.
Probably, but no, I really doubt because the way she moves, she doesn't move like, you know what I mean? Her movements are not made sure.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You know
No,
what I'm saying?
I get you. I understand. Okay, so this is what happened, and this has been several days, and I'm so tired. I'm almost as tired of this story as I am of people talking about Love Island. Oh my goodness. Can y'all relax? Do you not have things to do? Anyway, South African influencer Cyan Boujee has had a lot of backlash over the past week because she basically posted up a video promoting an amazing opportunity for young girls aged 18 to 22 from South Africa to be able to go and get a job in Russia, where they would get guaranteed promotion in 6 months and they would learn a lot of skills, etc., etc., etc. Obviously, everyone who heard this promotion that she put up on her social media was like, wait, what? It smells to
Also, the way she says Russia, she goes. Also, I was about to say, it's very interesting. What's going on in your Kumusha? Why aren't you speaking about Chinchurita Kumbako?
Do you know what I want to say, Phil? So, first of all, Russia is a very big country. In fact, it's for those of you who are familiar with geography, it is the biggest country. Second of all,
Look at you, still pushing propaganda, even in these times.
Second of all, I won't take any slander from my current country mates because, I mean, come on. Come on. Come on, guys. I do I have to say anything? Anyway, going back to this story. So she posted up this video where she was promoting this potential opportunity for women aged 18 to 22. And you could find yourself an amazing opportunity. You go to Russia and you'll find this unspecified job, unspecified training without any information as to what it is or what you'll be doing, what is needed. What you get is guaranteed promotion in 6 months. Opportunity.
Oh no, they in the longer version of the video they did. So I forget the name of the company. But they did mention it. I also wanted to clarify, did you manage to listen to Anele's breakdown?
I did.
Speaking of, you listen to our interview with Anele, scroll up. We had her on the podcast. Great interview.
So Anele, host of the Breakfast Show on 947, she and her team tried to call this company in Russia to try and find out more information about what is this so-called opportunity that is being promoted. Now, we're talking about Cyan Boujee, but she was by no means the only influencer who was trying to promote this. There were several of them. In fact, since we mentioned Cyan, let's mention the other ones. When a quick search for me showed me there was Peachy Sprinkles, Ghost Klubi, Sima, and Zilewizi. The name of the company you're talking about, by the way, is Alabuga Start.
There we go. Alabuga Star, which for some reason has no one that can receive phone calls or speak English.
Yeah, so on their radio show, analyst team tried to call this place, and they were like, "Hey, listen, we've heard that there's apparently an opportunity." So someone was pretending that it's for my sister. I'm trying to find out how far, what, and everyone just kept on saying, "Sorry, no speak English. Sorry, no speak English. Just apply via the website." I think eventually they managed to speak to someone who said, yes, they speak English, but just apply via the website. They couldn't give any answers about so many different things. But yeah, you were going to say that there was some clarification that came from the longer video.
Oh no, I was about to say. So they did say that there would be progress in nursing, there would be progress in machining, and then they'd also give you a stipend starting at around $400, and then after your multiple 6-month promotions, by the time you leave, you could be earning as much as 1.5.
Very nice.
So. You could be earning as much as an executive in Zimbabwe by the time you
full on senior manager.
Guys, you get any more one. Anyway, so there's that. But obviously, anyone with common sense would have raised alarms, and I think that's kind of the issue here, right? And it's a discussion we were having in a group with a few marketing professionals. I know you're part of that group, where we started just asking the question, like, why are people so stupid? And by people, I don't mean the populace. I mean influencers. Particularly and I think Cyan is obviously the front and center because she came out first with the video. She's probably one of the ones with the biggest following. She had a 1.7 million followers on TikTok before her account got shut down because it was reported for this video. So she's incredibly powerful. And there was another video I saw where an influencer succinctly put it. He's done marketing stuff that I've seen content before, and he was like, basically, this was like an evolution of the Nigerian prince scam. And as I'm sure you guys know, Nigerian prince scams are bad for a reason, because it auto-filters the people that you want to speak to. It's easier for scammers to scam people that are susceptible to be scamming. So you create barriers to filter out anyone with common sense or intelligence or who's not desperate. So typos, fanciful situations, ridiculous premises, things that anyone with common sense would be like, this doesn't make sense. Why do I have to send you money for you to get your money? And then you send me back my money? That doesn't make sense. But for the people that don't understand that or don't realize that the O is actually a 0 or there's a typo here, or just Google, wait, does this prince actually exist? The people that don't do that are going to give you the money. So I think that was the premise here. But also it's a double premise, because on the influencer side, you guys have no common sense to realize, what am I actually selling here?
Okay, so can I break down this discussion into 3? So allow me just to put my radio brain onto this. So I'm going to break it down into 3.
I've got my notepad here. I'm even listening.
So first of all, just remember, Phil, that at least 50% of the population is below average IQ. So
population is dumb. Okay.
Okay. Let me break it down into 3. The first thing that I think we could discuss. The first one is from a legal perspective. Is Cyan Boujee and the other influencers? I think the other one whose account got banned also is Sima. I don't know about the others. I didn't check their accounts. These are people with over 1 million followers.
Oh,
right?
there was a long thread. There was one person who, I think the account name is Palesa something. I think last count she had like 9 accounts. All like 9 accounts that were involved in this promo had all been banned from TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the full total of the influencers involved, but 9 accounts had been banned last time I checked.
So here's my question. From a legal perspective, are they liable if it turns out, and I think it's almost obvious at this point, but, just for the sake of being legally correct, allegedly, if this this weird program by this shady Russian company that doesn't answer all these questions, the Alabuga Start program, is actually a front for human trafficking, are Cyan Boujee and other influencers who are just paid to put out a promo video, are they liable legally?
I would like to say yes, but I'm not a lawyer, so I can't speak to that.
I mean, Phil, this is not a legal podcast, right? This is just our own opinions.
I would like to say at the very least there is a level of negligence with regards to this promotion. If I don't know criminally if they're liable, but definitely civilly. I can definitely imagine a civil case where someone based on this ad applies, goes to Russia, becomes a victim of human trafficking or abuse, or what the other BBC story and the Bloomberg story that came out around the same time were reporting that the city that Cyan Boujee and them were promoting is where foreigners get sent to make arms for the Ukraine-Russia war.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see a situation where if that happens to someone, they can come back, or if they finally manage to escape, they'll come back and they'll be like, we're filing a civil case because this was false advertising. Like I was misled. There was no education. There was no remuneration. I became either a sex slave or a factory worker.
So I think this is it's kind of a complex discussion because
Actually, I think about it is illegal. I've just remembered this is similar to the cases that we see in the UK and Dubai. Granted, not on this scale, but you remember there's even a case with some famous Zimbabweans where people get care of service visas. They go to the United Kingdom and their passports get taken.
Yeah.
And in that instance, they are actually doing what they were told they would be doing, which is healthcare, NHS services. However, they don't have their passports and they're getting paid fractions of what they should be because the agency is taking a large chunk. And it's a similar situation to people that get work permits in Dubai where your passport gets taken and you aren't paid. In the UK, I know people have been found guilty of that. Dubai, I'm not too sure yet. I'll have to look that up. So I do think, considering the fact that we adopted all of their laws, granted, South Africa is slightly different, there is a high likelihood of criminality being involved here. We should phone this Senna or someone.
So, look, for the record, this is not a legal podcast, right? So we're not over here trying to say this is what it is or this is what it's not. We're just talking about our opinions over here. So allow me to somewhat devil's advocate this conversation, right? On the one hand, I believe in South Africa there's something called the Consumer Protection Act. We have similar things in Zimbabwe, and I would imagine in many places around the world where platforms or advertisers have some level of liability if they knowingly promote things that are harmful to potential consumers, right? And I think that might apply in this case. But
yeah, we actually got the exact. While you continue, sorry, let me look up the exact board that they report, because remember, our group mate actually told us because he specializes in this.
Yeah. So okay, but looking at this, I'm like, okay, here's Cyan Boujee. I'm an influencer. I am not some accredited, registered platform or media platform. I'm just someone who makes content, looks fly, and gets followers. I'm approached by advertisers. Some of them come through agencies. Some of them come direct. Someone says, listen, we have this product. We want you to post about it. We'll pay you this much. I'm all about my money. Maybe I have a booking agent or a manager of some kind who's handling that. And they're like, listen, here's this program. Young girls in South Africa who are struggling will be able to go to South Africa, go to Russia and get into this program. I'm like, oh, sounds good. How much are they paying me? Are they paying me how much? Cool, let's go. Are you guilty of one thing that's not debatable is you're guilty of being stupid. but are you guilty of being evil or like malicious or harmful?
Being stupid can be a crime.
Yeah, I hear it. So what I'm trying to say is, okay, would the company that owns a billboard be liable if that billboard puts up an ad for Sam Bankman-Fried's, what was the name of his company?
Crypto.com.
Was it Crypto.com?
Yep.
So if then people lose money because they saw that ad on that billboard, is the owner of that billboard who actually took the booking and put it up also liable? Or should he have done due diligence first?
But those are two different purposes. I get what you're trying to say, but that example isn't. So
again,
Crypto.com
for the record, sorry. So for
entity.
the record, just before we go forward, I absolutely think that this is something that you're guilty of. I'm just trying my best to understand the potential other side of the argument. Yeah.
Because Crypto.com, and remember, by all intents and purposes, before things fell apart, they were seen as a legitimate business, which is why he was hobnobbing with politicians and sponsoring them and had all this finance, because people thought this was a legitimate business that was following monetary regulations within the United States up until the investigations proved otherwise. So it's a different, that would be like, for that to have made sense, Cyan Boujee would then have to be working with a legitimate company that has a track record, or at the very least, case studies of people going to Russia and learning. And somewhere along the line, they switch business models and pull the rug from everyone's feet. Then there's plausible deniability, and there's anyone with common sense will be like, okay, you know what? We all thought the same thing. These guys seemed legit until they weren't. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. It is what it is.
Crypto.com. No, but I mean, we knew from the get-go that, like, come on, bro.
Yeah, we knew there was hype, but we knew there was a grip. But with this, it's totally different, because the other thing that makes no sense about this program, right?
It wasn't Crypto.com, Phil. It was FTX.
Yeah, but FTX is also owned with Crypto.com.
So, but Crypto.com, okay, anyway, it's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're right. There was FTX, and then there was the other FT, I forget the other acronym, where he was funneling the money to. The guy was running a complicated scheme. We should get one of our listeners to explain. However, with this one, it makes no sense, because South Africa and Russia actually have a bilateral relationship. They are part of BRICS. Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, this is
the fact that there's a student program, and not one minister of education, not one minister of tourism, not like no government officials are involved in this guan. And you can't even point to the educational facility. Like, at no point during that advertisement did you say, like, hey, this is the institution you're gonna get accredited by. Like, anyone with common sense. And she flew to, as she says, Russia, the way she pronounces it so weird. Did you watch the video?
You're focusing on the wrong thing, yeah.
No, but my whole point is, while she was flying to Russia, even if it was a direct flight, she had 18 hours to just stop and think, like, yo, so I'm flying over here. This is the script they gave me. Why do they only need 18 to 22-year-old women? Like, so, like, if I'm a 25-year-old woman, I can't work in a factory? If I'm a 23-year-old man, I can't work in a factory?
Okay, wait.
Does that make sense?
Wait, Phil. Wait. Okay. So, Cyan Boujee went to Russia. Let's imagine that her and her team received the invitation.
Fam, let's be honest. After this, if I would be surprised if Cyan actually has a team, because this is dumb. I'd be doubly surprised if this team has any form of common sense, because, like, it's just a room of idiots. Can you imagine having a team and every single one of them is a dumbass? Just a room of idiots.
Okay, let's say Cyan and her hairdresser and her photographer go to Russia, right?
Very accurate.
And when they're there, they're like, okay, maybe I'm imagining a conversation going, guys, why do they only want 18 to 22-year-old girls? We must go and find out what's happening. Then they go there and they actually find a couple of people, whether they're acting or whatever the case is, and they want the money. In fact, I saw her apology video, by the way, and I was just like, yo, she's like, it's not about the money because, they haven't paid me yet. was like, yet. That yet there is doing a lot of heavy lifting.
So wait, so that means you're doubly stupid. Like, you really dumb. You dumb.
She was like, I was booked for 6 videos or something, so they haven't even paid me yet. I just done the first one or what, something like that. I don't know what she said.
The fact that she thought she was going to get 6 videos off is crazy. So wait, if she was starting with the intro to sex trade, what's the 6th video going to be? Like her trapped in a room?
It's like, it's not even that bad, guys. Anyway, my point, okay, I am trying my best to see the other side of things because I genuinely believe that she is liable and she should face the wrath of the law without fear or favor. But I'm just trying to understand, is it possible that this is a Section 30, what's it, Section 31? Section 31? Platform.
You mean the American?
Yeah, the platform versus publisher debate.
Yeah.
The debate is, from Cyan Boujee's perspective, is she just a platform where advertisers come and the person who's liable is the advertiser, or is she a publisher where she gets to actually push the thing that she... Now, as an influencer, I think honestly, I do think that she has liability as a publisher. But if she was just as duped as maybe some other people who've signed up for this program, we've already established that the way she moves, it doesn't seem like she has the smartest team, if she has one. If she was duped, if she was literally, we'll pay you this much to say this, and she's like, sounds good, and she literally didn't think about it, does that make her a little more innocent, or is it more nefarious that she knew what it is but the money, though? You know what I mean?
I think it's both, dude. Also, Section 230 was
Section 230.
It's a strictly American plan.
But I mean the concept of it.
But also, the whole premise, and I think as someone, granted, we're in a neighboring country, but you, in your day job, are very familiar with this. So, and walk me through this hypothetical, this example. The same company, before this whole ground pops off, they come to you guys and like, listen, we're on radio airtime. This is the script. We're going to get all your biggest names. You're not actually, Dan, we like your voice. You do a voiceover, and then we want live reads from Miss Red, Simba, and Tatenda G. And you look at the script. Or someone in your department has to look at the script, right? So let's run through 2 examples. Let's say, in fact, they come, you never see sight or sound of the script, and you just hear the ad on the radio. What would your response be? Scenario 1.
Obviously, I would react, very aggressively, shall we say? Like, yo, who okay this? How is this okay?
Yeah. And you're doing that because I'm assuming there's checks and balances in your institution to ensure that you don't allow nefarious advertising. Is that fair?
Yes. So maybe let me just give a quick overview of what you're describing. So I work at a radio station. That radio station is regulated by primarily BAS, which is the Broadcast Authority of Zimbabwe. BAS has a list of specific things that you're allowed and not allowed to do. The radio station is also a part of something called ADMA, which is the Advertising Media. What is it? Advertising. I forgot what it stands for, but basically it's a media that does advertising, and there's certain codes of conduct that everyone is expected to live up to, including ensuring that adverts are not harmful. We're also somewhat regulated by depending on which industry it is, right? For example, in MCAS, which is the Medicines Control Authority of Zimbabwe, they have regulations about what is allowed to be advertised versus what is not allowed to be advertised. There's a ton of regulations about what is allowed versus not allowed, but that's for a registered organization in media. Obviously, now with the advent of digital media and influencers and platforms that have huge followings, but it's just some random person using a company from America. I'm not registered because I'm just a person who says jokes on a platform, on Mark Zuckerberg's platform. He's in America right now. The South African government is not even involved. So I'm just over here saying my jokes. People are reacting to my jokes. And a lot of people are reacting to my jokes, so I can make money by advertising something. Now, obviously, there's a public public interest here. But it's very difficult now to say, because she's not registered, she's not regulated by any body or authority.
Well, according to the person we spoke to there, so they technically do fall under the mandate of the Film and Publication Board, and then under the Department of Justice and Cybercrimes. How easily they enforce this, I don't know, because I also asked them, I was like, wait a minute, are any of the Forex traders being prosecuted? Because in as much as the Cyan Boujee thing looks shady, smells shady, and is suspect, there actually hasn't been a crime documented that we can point to right now. There might be someone who comes up off the woodwork with a horror story or something, but like at this point in time, we just know it looks shady, but we can't actually point to a crime. Like it smells like a crime, but we haven't seen the crime. Is that a fair statement?
I think that's a fair statement, and I think it's something that people won't want to hear, but that unfortunately, in the eyes of the law, there has to be an actual crime committed.
Yeah. But on the flip side, Forex traders are committing a crime. We know that. Like they're running multi-level marketing schemes, or they are unregistered equities traders, which is a crime. Because if you don't have the appropriate qualifications to move finances, you're committing a crime. But are they being prosecuted? It doesn't look like it. I don't know. Maybe they are, and it's not making the news. And I think that's also something to look out for, because I think that points to how some people view the internet, as you're also alluding to, like the Wild Wild West. So I can do whatever I want. And sadly, the only real enforcement that we saw come to pass here was TikTok's very over-aggressive enforcement of human trafficking rules.
Terms of service.
And we don't even know these.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Terms of service in this case are stronger than like laws.
Yeah. And those accounts might be reinstated by the end of the week. Like, just because they've been suspended doesn't mean they're gone. They might be back soon if they appeal. That's one. And two, the only other thing that brought these people to book was people raising the alarm and saying, yeah, fam.
But also, like, as shady as this thing looks, like you said, I don't think it's been proven yet. As unlikely as it is, this organization could be legit, for all we know.
No. I mean, let's be honest. This is the O.J. Simpson.
Obviously,
it's like,
isn't.
You didn't go to jail. You didn't go to jail for the gun, but come on, bro.
Obviously, it isn't. Allegedly, but I mean,
we know.
Like, obviously, it isn't.
We know.
But in terms of fact versus not fact,
you know what I mean?
Okay, so that was the first thing.
It's like meeting a rich African politician. You're like, come on.
Like he could,
like, we know.
He could be a really good businessman. Like, I get you, but like, come on, bro.
Of course you have 3 Raptors legitimately. That makes sense. 3 Raptors with no number plates. Yeah, that makes sense.
The Mad Black. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So that was the first thing that I wanted in terms of structuring this.
We're getting too specific. We're getting a little too specific.
The second one was in terms of moral, and I think we don't have to spend too much time talking about it. Obviously, morally, like, come on, man. You know what? In the fact that we know that human trafficking is such a big deal, especially for young women in places like South Africa. Like, you should have, thought more about this. And I think she should lose endorsements. She should lose followers. Like. It's so annoying. It's similar to, and again, I'm not going to mention any names, but it's similar to a particular, screw it, I'll mention names. Someone who is called the Queen of Soft Life in Zimbabwe. She put up her posts about... No, hear me out.
Crims censor that name.
I haven't even said anything. Listen to me.
Censor that name.
No.
Finish the story. Wait, Crims, you better censor that
She
name.
put up posts celebrating her birthday, right? No problem with that. However, people's reactions and responses show that as a nation, and I guess as people in general, we like to see opulence. It's good to us. It looks nice to us. And it makes us blind to everything else. Morally, I think it's pretty obvious. Like, come on. Like, at least do some due diligence. And with some level of awareness I think it's almost mandatory for you to be like, and I know what you guys are thinking, but I actually went and did some research and I found this. Like, if you don't say that, or if you don't have that kind of disclaimer or something, it just feels bad.
What research can they do like this?
No, let's say here's this air quotes too good to be true offer that is specifically targeted at 18 to 22-year-old girls for some reason. Let's say in this amazing parallel universe, there's someone who's like, you know what, this is the most vulnerable part of society. I want to give them opportunities so that they don't get, lost in the sauce. These are the people who I'm targeting with this opportunity. So surely you would know how shady that sounds. So you'd be like, okay, I'm going to go out of my way to try and prove that this is not what it sounds like. If no one even mentions that or thinks about it, like, come on, bro, it's so obvious. That was the second thing that I was going to. So yes, there's the legal element and the discussions about liability and all of that. And this one is like morally like, come on, just do the right thing. And then the third one that I wanted to discuss was from the perspective of the audience. We've often spoken about the importance of media literacy. And I think in a world where influencers are becoming more and more influential, I think it's so like there's always going to be bad actors. If you are just that type of person who just believes something that you see because it looks nice, oh man, life is going to be so hard for you. I think as much as I hate it, I prefer everyone being optimistic. I think I have to say, like, you just have to have a spirit of
trust but verify. That's always the thing. If you want to be trust but verify.
Yeah, just like ask questions. That's what. Like, oh, this sounds good. Let me just confirm. Let me Google this thing. Let me look for it. Surely if there's an organization out in Russia that is providing work for 18 to 22-year-olds, it would be in the news. Someone would have written about it. Some information would be available about it. Make a call first before jumping on a flight or something. So yeah, I figured that those are sort of the three directions to speak in. The last two are brief because it seems obvious, and I thought there's no need for us to talk long about it. But from a legal perspective, I think that's where we can talk a lot about this, because I'm not sure. While I think that she should face some repercussions legally, I'm not sure if there's a leg to stand on. I'm not sure if that exists. So when I did a quick Google, I was looking at this Consumer Protection Act. I was like, okay, maybe that, because under the Consumer Protection Act, there's clauses for things like failure of due diligence.
So I think you're right. Like until a crime is proven, there's nothing that can be done. And nor do I think people beyond what is fair should have their pitchforks out. Like, obviously you should pull someone and be like, dude, what are you doing? Like, this is ridiculous. Are you dumb? And the whole point here is her, and let's not forget the other influencers' names because they're also all involved. The reason why they're approached is because they're quote unquote influencers. They have a large audience. That audience that trusts or believes or aspires to live like them. If people continue to call out this nonsense, ideally, hopefully, fewer and fewer people will want to follow or be like them, until it's down to, you know what,
like the really brazen,
the people that Darwinism would have taken out anyway. You know what I mean? And we already were, and I hate to speak ill of people because like life happens to everyone, but if like while we were preparing for this talk, I mean the segment, I was trying to get a rundown of the news, and I didn't put the parameter of time. Fam, the AI just kept typing all the scandals Cyan Boujee did. They are numerous. Fam, like there's the story of the time the homie got into a car accident. She was in the car with the homie. She left the homie and went to the club. Well, the homie went to the hospital. And then she came online and was like, well, you guys are being haters. Why? Like, I had a good time. Blah, 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 blah. Then there was the other time. Let me not even get into it. But yeah, she does not seem like a nice person.
Nope.
So I don't even understand how she has all those followers. But anyway.
There's also I guess this is also a bit of a side note, but there's this there seems to be this huge interest and almost obsession with the type of person that clears other people. And I'm just like, are you just describing like a bad person? Like, ooh, she cleared him.
You just reminded me of one of the topics I wanted to talk about. Granted, it wasn't really top, but I think this is a good segue. Good stuff, Dan. Have you been seeing these Jubilee videos? One woke scientist battles 20 conservative MAGAs.
Yeah, you brought it up a couple of episodes back.
I did. I hated that stuff so much. I hate it. And I realized, and one of the reasons outside of it, I think just moving in the Overton window and being a psyop and making these discussions.
What is you've referenced this a couple of times now. What's the Overton window?
It's the area in which society is comfortable discussing topics. And even this Cyan Boujee thing is kind of part of it, where human trafficking is an obscure thing, but granted, I don't think it applies here. I'm thinking out loud. But going back to this original topic, the Overton window is basically like things that are taboo to say out loud. So saying I'm a racist, or saying I'm a fascist, which is one of the videos that it went viral a couple of weeks ago. Saying I'm a fascist, or I don't like immigrants should leave the country. Or I'm a Nazi. These things are very taboo. But if you continually hear people say this over and over, and you also don't see any consequences for them saying it, you realize, oh, maybe I can say it. And then you're now emboldened to start discussing it or broach the topic or even say it overtly. And it moves over to the window in that direction. And to a certain degree, I think a lot of what's going on with social media and discussions there is to remove critical thinking. It's really difficult to have good conversations. Dang, I forget the book. I actually wanted to read it. There's a Kierkegaard. Kierkegaard has this amazing quote, and I've been looking for the book, where a century ago he was talking about we're now in the age of distraction, where it's the age of reaction and publicity, basically. And that's what this period has become, especially. And there was someone who was speaking of, because we're in the age of reactions, like, so literally people sit down and what they do is they watch something and immediately react to it. You're now training yourself and your audience to not sit down and process things or sit down and process the art. Your response has to be immediate. The dopamine hit has to hit you instantly. And that now transfers to social media, which goes back to what you said, the clearing. Because I've also been a victim of this. Someone says something incendiary to me, right? Instead of stopping.
Man said victim, yeah.
Yeah. Well, victim of poor judgment, yes. Like someone says something incendiary to you. Instead of stopping, sitting with your emotions, processing and saying, you know what, this upset me. This is why it upset me. I think I'm going to respond this way. Okay, if I respond this way, what are the potential ramifications of this response? And what can I do if that happens? People don't think that far ahead. And it leads to everything we've just discussed earlier on. So I kind of lost my original train of thought, but ultimately, clearing. Going back to clearing people. I've also noticed it, and I hate it. I hate that I was a part of it, but I also think it's part of this, because even in her responses, Cyan is trying to clear people, and people are trying to clear her, and it just creates this incendiary back and forth argument, which just makes it worse, because the worst thing you can do is get into an argument with someone who's dumb or someone who's an ideologue, because an ideologue is simply going to hear your point and dig their heels in further, because they're basing it on their belief. I believe this, so I'm going to fight for my opinion, because my opinion is right and yours is wrong. I don't care about evidence. The earth is flat.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's also like this. I see it in the way people are having discussions about Love Island. Like, oh my gosh, I love her. Did you see how she said this about that person? Or did you see this clip where she like insulted that person? It's like, brother, you're literally describing people with bad qualities. Like you're describing someone mean or rude or like, why would you like that? Why is that something nice to you? I don't get it.
Speaking of mean comments and mean tweets, I did see a tweet earlier this week that made me laugh. And they were basically like, Love Island is is basically a glorified dating show for pretty people who are dumb.
I mean,
they said a lot more incendiary stuff, but it's true.
Yeah.
And I also don't. I'm also trying to follow because like I watched a couple of episodes here and there because it was on in the house. I for the life of me, I don't know now. Is Huda a good person or a bad person? I don't know.
I haven't.
Am I going to investigate?
I watched part of one season a while back. I'm ashamed to admit that I kind of got caught up into it. And then by the end of the season, I was like, yo, this is the biggest waste of time. It's so bad. But
there's nothing wrong with wasting your time on entertainment. It's just like how I find the issues like how invested people get into it. Like now people are really invested in Nicolandria and what's going on with Alex. And like, I even know their names because it's like, it's so disgust. I know these people's names and what's going on against my will.
Like, you are saying Huda. I'm like, I know that name. I don't know what she looks like. I know it's a she.
She a painting. Painting. She's also Palestinian. She's also on the Free Palestine way.
Really?
Yeah, Free Palestine.
Oh snap! Okay,
Free Palestine.
I have to stand. Look, I know there's also like there's also some baddie, darker the berry types that are people are like, damn, like they're really raised.
Shelly and Olandria.
I don't know. I haven't seen them. I just know that they exist.
Once again, Dan, I know these women's names against my will, but I know them.
But all these people just seem to be terrible people. I don't get it. I don't understand. Why are we celebrating bad qualities? It's like, oh, did you hear what she said? She said blah 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 blah, and I'm like, that just sounds like a rude person.
But here's the other thing, right? Is why do we expect people in their early 20s who are gorgeous, who have national attention, who, as a prerequisite for being on the show, already have a following, and then you put them in a situation that would drive anyone insane? You don't know what day it is. You don't know what time it is. The producers are constantly manipulating situations in the house to create drama. Then they are manipulating situations in the editing room to make it seem like there was drama. They're introducing people, like, even if you have the best of intentions, like let's say you're dumb like Cyan Boujee. You know what I mean? Let's just hypothetically. So your name is Cyan Burgundy.
Right? No, let's pick a different color. I feel like cerulean. And instead of bougie,
Cerulean Bourgeois. If your name is Cerulean Bourgeois, and you get invited to a reality show, and you're like, you know what, I've really been struggling with dating. I don't want to be dating these ballers. I don't want to be dating these mbingas, these sugar daddies. I'm looking for someone my age. I know I'm a beautiful woman. I've got a nice body, but I want to date someone, that wants to build. I want to have kids sometime soon. Bam. And you go on this show, and everyone else on this show is like, yo, how do I get my brand up? How do I get my money up? How do I create controversy? Because that's the other thing, right? Is if the audience sees you falling in love and they don't like who you're dating, they would ruin your relationship. And that happens all the time. And you got to deal with all this. This stuff will drive you insane. They turn on the lights when it's time to wake up. They turn off the lights when it's time to wake up. Not only that, you're sleeping in bunk beds. No, okay, not bunk beds, but in a dorm room, like you're back in high school. You don't know how, like, the nigga next to you is snoring. The nigga next to you farts in their sleep. Like, that would drive anyone insane. And you expect people to function normally when they get back into society. Now the whole world knows who they are. Nah, fam.
I feel like you've been watching Love Island.
Once again, Dan, against my will. This is how pervasive this program is. Against my will.
Oh, yeah. All right.
I open TikTok, it's there.
Let's move
I
on.
open Twitter, it's there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Let's change the subject. Did you see the new Will Smith tour video?
I saw the clip. Yeah. I mean, okay. You're Will Smith's biggest soldier. Tell me what you care about this.
I put my gun down for this one. Speaking of the Overton window, one or two things happened. So I saw the video. It looked a bit weird. Then I saw people talking about that. I went back and watched the video. I was like, oh snap! There's a lot of AI in this video. Then there's really one where there's someone who says, "Don't give up on me. Help me survive my cancer."
Yeah.
And the person holding it has like, there's a hand and then there's another woman's hand in his hand. So like, those glitches with AI.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, this is low.
So, okay.
This is really low.
If you're wondering what we're talking about, right? Just to let the audience know, Will Smith put out like sort of a promo video for his tour. And
Europe tour, yeah.
Yeah, in this video, people were like, yo, why does this promo video look, because it's got like some footage of some of the shows that he's allegedly done. And in this promo video, it looks like there's some either AI manipulation or AI generated crowds in the videos.
Yeah.
So that's what Phil's referring to. But yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, it looked weird. And then obviously the new law was like, wait, so your AI is generating these heart-wrenching placards that people are holding up. Then fans and William Smith uploaded another video, which seemed definitely real, and showed the crowd, showed him again, showed the crowd, and it's very shaky, it's very janky. And you see someone holding that very sign up, but their face is somewhat the same, but slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
So what it looks like it happened is he took parts of real footage and real signs and augmented it with AI to clean it up, because I don't think the photographer or the videographer was on duty that day and they're like, yo, we can't upload this to the highlight room to tidy it up. Or what my conspiracy brain thinks is Overton window. As we know, Will Smith does seem to have a business relationship, maybe not still existing, but in the past, with Facebook. Remember, his family had multiple shows on Facebook.
It's a lot of jumps on there, but yeah.
No, to me,
his wife and his mother-in-law.
Yeah, Westbrook Entertainment, his company.
Yeah.
Westbrook Entertainment was the one that had the company.
Yes.
I mean, the one that has the deal, which he still runs, which still owns. And we know that he's been using the social media content Westbrook produces and distributes via his channel to promote his movies, promote his social media content. And he's done it like with Bad Boys, for example, where they were making original content around the movie, but they were producing it. So my whole thing was, I for the life of me, and I know that some of the people in his team, I don't know them personally, but I know their reputation. Unless he's fired his whole team, I for the life of me can't imagine anyone with any common sense allowing this video to get published. Unless Will tried something totally new. Maybe it was a fan video, a fan edit, and he didn't pay attention and it was like, oh, this looks dope. And then before he knew it, they realized it was AI. That is a high possibility. But my conspiracy brain is they're just trying to get us used to AI videos now. Because like if you stop trusting the crowds you see at a Will Smith show, you're going to assume every video now is AI. And once you start believing every video is AI, you don't care when a video does not have AI.
Okay, I'm rolling this theory around in my mind. I'm rolling it around in my mind. I don't know. Look, you're the Will Smith fan. Knowing Will Smith as you know him and how he's positioned himself and his brand, would he do this? Or is it more likely that this was, obviously it's not Will Smith sitting down at his laptop and editing his own video. Would his team perhaps be trying to, like you said earlier, trying to just clean up some footage, trying to make it look nice, trying to put it together? They play it for Will Smith at a time that he's not paying too close attention, and he looks at it as like, he doesn't notice that there's certain sections of it that seem AI-ish. And he's like, yeah, looks good to me, looks good to go. He just assumes that his team will use authentic footage. Meanwhile, they used AI footage to make things easier. Or he even knew that it was AI footage, but he was just like, it should be fine. But knowing him the way you know him, I find it hard to believe that he would deliberately take a hit to his brand for the purpose of moving the Overturned window for his corporate partners.
You say that, but one of the things that makes no sense to me, Will Smith has probably one of the best publicists. Will Smith has navigated his wife cheating scandal and slapping a man on the biggest platform in Hollywood and survived them because he has a good PR team.
Yeah. But I mean, even that happening shows that, things are not always 100% correct. Sometimes things slip through the cracks.
PR is supposed to deal with the problems after they happen. That's what crisis did. And the image.
The best PR, Phil, is proactive and not just reactive.
Which is why it was such a shock. Because if you have good PR, if you go on stage and you punch someone, that's why it's such a shock. Because if you had bad PR, like Will Smith being Will Smith again, for all we know, like he could be, like, as much as you say, you know me, if you read his book, Will Smith has witnessed some very traumatic things. His father was a very traumatic influence in his life. He's from West Philly. He's seen a lot of bad things. So let's not let it slide that Will Smith probably has the potential to do some of these things. We just don't associate him with that because his brand is so squeaky clean. So I can't speak to that. I don't know the man beyond that. However, what I will say is the fact that it's now approaching 3 days since this video went up, and Will Smith hasn't done even an Instagram story apology is telling. Because that's an easy cleanup. Video goes up, people notice, hey guys, my bad. Let me explain. So there's some real footage. Here's the real footage. Someone in the team was trying to clean it up. They're using a new tool. They're trying to get a new technique. I wasn't paying attention to it. The video went out. My bad. Not trying to hurt anyone. Keeping in mind, Will Smith is a member of SAG-AFTRA. SAG-AFTRA just went to strike over using AI in videos.
Yeah.
This is doubly wild. And doubly wild is in the comments of the video that Will Smith posted. There's a producer who's a member of SAG-AFTRA who says, I'm in this video. I was never at this concert. And then she shows people the reference image that was probably used. And the other reason why I suspected it might be Facebook is the reference image she says was only posted on Instagram and Facebook.
I don't know. Also, I'm like low key. To me, it feels like a mistake, but maybe it is deliberate. Maybe I need to start believing in conspiracy theories more. Life will be more interesting,
No, Dan, once you open your third eye,
I hear it. I need to start thinking about some of those things. Okay, anyway, let's move on from this Will Smith story, Phil.
Don't give up on
I want to be a tech ombudsman since we're already in the realm of AI. since we're in the realm of AI.
Hold on. Let me take a seat and prepare for this segment.
So, for too long has the world looked down on Zimbabwe as a force in technology. For too long have we been dismissed by those who would count themselves as smarter than us, more important than us. The haters will continue to hate. Meanwhile, Zimbabwe continues to blaze the path forward. The very first ever AI bench in Zimbabwe has been revealed. I remember saving. I found this on my Twitter.
I saw it. I saw that too. And I was taken aback. I was simply taken aback.
Flabbergasted. You know what? Let me. This was posted by ZBC. It was on the news. Take a listen.
About Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation. Anything that you know?
The Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation, or ZBC, is the national broadcaster in Zimbabwe, providing television and radio services across the country.
It looks like a simple bench, but this is no ordinary seat. Meet POW, Africa's first AI-embedded smart bench, developed by Zimbabwean startup PowTech Africa. The POW bench is bringing intelligence directly into public spaces. Tech Africa has developed what is called a POW bench. as you can see, takes the shape of a bench, but it's embedded with AI, where one can ask questions, where one can even do some researches. A student can just come and sit on this bench and start interacting with this bench.
A student should
describe to our viewers out there how the smart bench works.
The PAL Smart Bench is much more than just a place to sit. It's an example of how we embed AI into everyday environments. Imagine a bench that can interact with people, answer questions, provide information about local events.
Okay, it's enough that.
As the tech ombudsman. Sorry, I've stopped.
This bench is a power bench.
No, stop it, Phil. Stop it, Phil.
Odds.
So this was on ZBC, and it was about a new innovation in Zimbabwe. It was an innovator.
It was a bench with a tablet in the middle. That's what this nigga took a bench and stuck a tablet in the middle.
This was a bold display of homegrown innovation, Phil. This was homegrown innovation meeting global relevance. Zimbabwean tech entrepreneur Mr. Leonard Muyambo is turning heads with PAL Smart Bench.
You know what? I wish we had video. Dan, look at this. I've created an AI Stanley with my new revolutionary AI Stanley mug.
Just Google Zimbabwe Smart Bench and you know what? It actually wouldn't. This wouldn't be so embarrassing if people didn't make a big. Like if someone just said, "Hey, I thought of an idea. What if we were to create a bench? You know, sometimes people feel lonely when they're sitting down. Put it in a public space, and people can just ask questions of it." So I'm like, I don't know if it's a good idea. I was saying, let's give it a try. It's like it's just a normal thing.
I literally read 2 stories of medical professionals coming out this week and saying, "Please stop using AI for conversations with therapy."
Yeah. Oh,
Don't use
absolutely,
it to
100%, 100. Yo, okay. But you know what, Phil? Okay. Let me arrange my thoughts. Here we go.
Wosa, calm down.
I agree with you. However, the reminder that I think I have to keep giving myself is there are so many people in the world who have unfortunate circumstances for various reasons. There's so many people in the world who, whether it's through their own personalities or through the unfortunate happenstance or whatever it is, they are unable to have fulfilling relationships with human beings. There are millions of people who basically live their lives alone. If they have a tool that they can have a back and forth with, that is probably an improvement on literally speaking to no one. For many people, they are older. Maybe their friends and peers have died off and they're just waiting for their own death. Their children and young people around them are living their own life somewhere else. Others, whether they have abrasive personalities or just the circumstances they grew up in, they just don't have people around them. Is it better for them to just have no one to talk to, period? Obviously, the ideal situation is to have meaningful friendships and relationships. But for the millions of people who don't have that, is it insane to say that they have some kind of interactions with an AI tool? I still do think that's bad, but it's better than having no one. There's that. And the second thing that was swirling around in my head is it's so easy to get caught. Do you know the South Park episode that focused on ChatGPT and how it's so sycophantic?
Yeah.
I think it's so easy to get caught up in, wow, you think I'm smart? You think that's a good idea? Thank you. Wow, you speak to me so respectfully. You tell me the things I want to hear. And that's so dangerous because ChatGPT is never going to tell you you are wrong. That's not going to happen unless you specifically prompt it to do that. So, yeah, I 100% agree with you. People shouldn't be using it for that, but maybe not from a position of therapy. If this bench was simply, hey, rather than sitting in silence, maybe you don't have internet, maybe this is in a rural area or whatever the case is, it could just be a thing. It could just be a thing. But now that it's framed as this cutting edge technology on the edge of innovation versus global relevance, now it's like, this is now embarrassing.
Yep.
Anyway, you should look it up. The real tech ombudsman film.
Don't look it up. Please don't.
No, just for funnies. Have you heard of Nano Banana, Phil?
Have you been speaking to my girlfriend?
Okay, so Nano Banana is a product from Google. You can access it through Gemini. It's essentially it's a code name for Gemini's. In fact, I think it is the former name for Gemini's new image editor. The concept behind it is that you'll be able to upload images or upload several images and give instructions for your images to be edited. And they just launched 2.5 Flash image, which is the latest iteration of what this Nano Banana is, and it is surprisingly good. It is like, it's good. So you could, for example, we could load, if we were making you should try it out for the artwork for this podcast, Phil. Just upload, let's say, for example, our discussion today is Cyan Boujee. Upload a picture of an influencer and then give, instructions or whatever within Gemini and then make it edit it into something else. So that's completely different to image generation, where I think they use different engines and different models. I don't know all the details. I haven't gone into in depth yet. I plan to fully understand it. But what I've been paying attention to is different people who are experimenting with it and trying it out and like creating various images out of other images. It's supposed to be an image editing tool. So imagine AI Photoshop. And it is pretty impressive. I'm not going to lie. It's called Nano Banana. I think it's because it's supposed to be, I don't think they took it seriously when it was made. For some reason, it used to just insert bananas into whatever images were edited. And then they eventually figured out how to fix that. But anyway, the point is, you upload various images. The experiment that I saw was someone was able to upload 8 images and then integrate them into one image. I was impressed with the outputs, yo. I haven't fully played around with it yet. I did some super basic stuff, but I hope to properly play around with this Nano Banana and really see.
I just did it. I just did it with us. For some reason, it got me pretty good. I don't know why it made you look like this.
Okay, let's see. What does it look like?
Have a look. So you know that image when we're at the Queen of Hearts bar?
Yeah.
And I just said, turn us into superheroes.
What? Why it make me black?
Wait, you're not black, Dan?
I mean,
what are you?
This is pretty good though, right? Looks like trouble, Commander. Not if we wore help at Central. But it's pretty good, right? Anyway,
yeah, it's well.
That's pretty crazy because, Photoshop is a pretty high skill thing. If people get good at the prompts and the tool gets better, graphic design is going to be a very difficult space to continue getting work in, man. Because it's good. I know in your mind you're probably thinking, it's probably good for an AI. No, it's good. Just try it out. Give it a try and see what comes out. You just access it via Google Gemini. You go into Google Gemini and you say edit this photo and you give it the prompt. So they are.
Yeah, I'm in the preview, so I'm in the new 2.56 Flash.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing
Yeah, so I just thought I'd share that with you guys, and you should give it a try.
Thank you for sharing your Nano Banana with me, Dan. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. I like to spread my Nano Banana as far as possible so people can understand what it's about.
It's important.
What else is there to talk about? There's a couple of things. You've been following Cardi B's case. It's funny. I've seen a couple of clips.
It's a wild case. People, capitalism is a wild one. It's a wild one. But yeah, I think, just go to Twitter. Oh, let's see here. What else do we want to talk about? Let's do agricultural shows this week, Dan.
Tell me before we go to agricultural show. Tell me the thoughts that are swimming in your head regarding online betting in Zimbabwe. What's stressing you out, Phil? Or betting in general.
So as part of my research for this panel, I was just looking for some online stats for Zimbabwe as I was preparing for one of my presentations. And there was the We Are Social Digital report, and it's got the Zimbabwe specific report, and it listed the top 10 Google searches in Zimbabwe for the last year. And of the top 10 Google searches, 5 of them were betting companies, and that took me aback already. And I shared it in the group, and then
that's a Patreon group for those of you wondering.
Our Patreon group. And then one of our patrons mentioned a tweet from a micro lending company that said, as of the end of this month, you could now get a loan to place bets in 3 different betting apps. That tweet seems to have been deleted, but you confirmed that it was actually real.
The tweet was real.
Because, oh my God, Dan.
Yeah.
Nano Banana just blew my mind.
What happened now? Send it.
The wild thing is in the image. My mind is blown. So, look at this. Granted, it got my sneakers wrong, but look at this.
Okay, let's see. Oh, as in you changed your stance.
No, Dan, we were never in that photo together.
Oh, snap.
I took one. I uploaded a photo of you by yourself with the same background and me by myself in the same background. And I said, there are 2 individuals. Merge them into the same photo. And
it's pretty good. I mean, this is pretty good.
What? Yeah, the game. It's a wrap.
The game done changed.
It's a wrap.
Yo,
I'm actually, granted, it got my sneak. I don't know how it turned my Jordan 13s into these weird looking ass things, but you know, it's a story for another day.
Maybe there's some some corporate shenanigans going on.
But the fact that the expression on my face is literally is great because that was my expression. This is artwork. This is the artwork for this episode.
Anyway, going back to the story about online betting. So, okay, let me give you a bit of background because I've started hosting a technology show on radio. The purpose of the show, it's basically just keeping an eye on trends and technology. It's tech ombudsman, but on radio. And what I normally do is just see what's trending, what are the discussions, what's happening, especially with some of the big tech companies and so on. So this Twitter account, Zimloan, which ostensibly, as it had existed for a while, ostensibly it was officially Zimloan. They actually tweeted, "Hey, new innovation that's coming up. You'll be able to take loans directly into 3 different betting apps." That obviously led to a huge backlash. There was literally thousands, maybe thousands is an overstatement, but I think it might have been true. Hundreds of comments that were saying like, "Yo, this is a terrible idea. This is bad." It looks like since then they have deleted the account. Admittedly, I can't say with 100% certainty that was absolutely the account that is owned by that company, but I'm pretty sure it is. The discussion that came out of that, by the way, was, okay, in my opinion, this is a terrible idea. It's a bad space, but it's not illegal. And frankly, if you're a startup and you're thinking, what are people trying to spend their money on? It's kind of someone just using technology. Now, obviously, in my opinion, I think I've said it before on this podcast, I think the next big pandemic in Zimbabwe is gambling addiction. And I think it's already a thing. And I
think it's global. Have you seen like the American gambling industry is worth $62 billion?
I can't believe that there's a gambling company football team in the Zimbabwean Premier League.
Dude,
I can't believe that
every time I get South African PSL updates, It's Betway PSL.
I believe, here's what I believe, right? I believe that if you are not creating value in the world, you are making money scamishiously.
It's a real word.
Creating value is up for debate, but this is why I look sideways at things like forex trading, crypto, etc. Because you're not actually creating value. You're trying to play the game. You're trying to game the system. There's no value created. It's a form of arbitrage, in my opinion. So I look sideways at like gambling companies and so on. And look, it is what it is. Capitalism is going to capitalize. If they are allowed to advertise, they will advertise. Thank you, baby. Ooh, fish. Oh my God. Phil, we're eating haddock tonight. This is
making good money, eh? Wow, head dog.
I made a mistake. My wife sent me to the New Food Lovers to buy a couple of things.
Oh, you got bamboozled, huh?
I was hit by the lights, Phil. I won't lie. I got in there. It was bright. I felt happy. I felt at home. And I blew our budget.
Those dancing vegetables got you, didn't they?
The dancing vegetables got me. I was happy. There were baddies shopping in there. I didn't want to look poor. I blew our entire budget. I bought haddock. So we've never bought haddock.
For the listeners that didn't hear, the listeners they couldn't hear. The moment Dan said there were baddies in there, they don't look poor. His wife just shouted from the back.
Anyway, going back to this conversation about betting. Yeah, obviously, I think that's the next big pandemic. There's no good. What is the good that would come out of it? What is the value that is provided to society? There's none. I get it. In a desperate space, it's a pastime. It's also hopes and desperations and all of that. But it's just, I am very fearful for what society is going to look like when our primary search terms in the past 6 months, 5 of the 10 are around sports betting. Yeah, we're cooked, bro. We're cooked.
Yep, we are cooked. And I don't even think this is as bad as it is, because none of the other apps that I know of were listed yet. I don't know if that's because of obfuscation or search. Because there's one time I went into, I was going through some high-density areas, and I kept seeing an airplane, like a billboard or an ad or like on the side of a wall, an airplane. And I was like, yo, what's up with this? So I asked someone, and they're like, oh, a lot of these betting apps have a mini game that involves a plane. So it's kind of like Flappy Bird.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, and initially it seemed like, it started off as a mini game to just keep you in the app in between whatever else you're betting on. But now you can bet on the game within the betting app. So if you're able to keep the plane flying, you could earn a substantial amount of money. But if it crashes, it's all gone.
Yeah. I don't think there should be anything legal necessarily. I mean, I think if someone so chooses to engage in gambling, that should be up to you. But I do think there should be restrictions on where it's allowed to be advertised.
I don't think we should have gambling on phones. I think there's a lot of things that should be removed from phones. I think gambling is one of them.
That's gonna be so difficult to enforce. How would you do that?
I don't know, Dan. I'm just giving an idea. This is a podcast. We're not legislators, but dude, from what I'm seeing, so here's I am granted he wasn't a big star, but I was seeing this mini documentary of a guy who used to play for Wolverhampton, and then he started playing with League One and League Two sides. And he was talking about how match fixing had become really prevalent when he was playing. But this was like 5 years ago, before betting had become what it is. But you're now looking at American sports. And if you've been following like some of the reporting Pablo Torre is doing, on even like the Marquise Morris story, and a bunch of other athletes who have been investigated for gambling or point shaving, it's getting incredibly prevalent. And I don't think it's even possible to regulate anymore. So I'm a player. I'm sponsored by a gambling company.
I don't want to be a player no more.
A gambling company's logo is on my court, on the stadium. I'm interviewed by media who are also running gambling. In between their segments, they're promoting their gambling app. And they're telling me, or even like pre-game stats, the over-under on me scoring 6 points is whatever it may be. Even if I am of incredible moral standing, there are people all the way for the court, like my driver, my trainer, my coach, my friends, my family, the people on the court right next to me, damn near maybe even the referee, who have all betted on me securing a certain outcome. How can you guarantee the integrity of the game when it's that pervasive?
Yeah. There's that angle, right? The purity of the game. Then there's also the angle of even just the angle of general, we know that gambling is addictive. Like it's literally you can be addicted to gambling. And we're all just kind of like, man, you should act better with your money. Yes, you should. But we know that this is something addictive. Meaning at some point, people can't help themselves. I think it shouldn't be advertised, man. But what can we do? It is what it is.
I should make sure I get this stat right. I was reading a stat. I think it had said 60% of men in America aged 20 and up all have gambling apps on their phone.
I wonder what the statistic is in Zim. Because everyone in Zim, I didn't know what it was. Aviator. Everyone just talk about Aviator. I was like, what on earth is this? Like an...
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That was the original game. So that's the airplane game.
So I was like, I don't know what this is. Like, is this are people all of a sudden into like flights now or something? Aviation? What's going on? Then someone explained to me, no, this is one of these betting games. People are apparently addicted.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, just know that as society crumbles, the two broke Twimbos brought light to this issue where others wouldn't because money was circulating.
Yeah, but this is a warning or just a harbinger to our listeners. If you ever listen to this podcast, and at the beginning of the podcast, it says like, this episode of Two Broke Twimbos is brought to you by insert betting company name here. Things have gotten very bad. Delete the app. Don't even delete the podcast. Delete the podcast app itself and send for help because we've been kidnapped.
Yeah. No, I would never take a betting app. I would feel so bad as if I would feel like I'm promoting Cyan Boujee's Russia thing.
How bad would things have to get for you to take betting my app money?
I'd rather die, Phil. I'd rather die.
We've been indoctrinated hard.
What do you mean?
And I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't know. I don't think I could live with my... The problem is I have a conscience. The problem is I have a conscience. That's the thing. Like I've realized a conscience is really holding me back from a lot of things. Because there's a lot of opportunities I could take advantage of if I didn't have a conscience.
Yeah, I think about that as well. I literally think there's an offer. You know, in my broke days, Phil, I think of the offer that was made to me by some very shady people about just very shady things. I'm just like, you know what?
Oh, the BMW, the white BMW.
No. No, I've never spoken to anyone about it. I just think about it when I'm in my dark days. When things are rough, I'm like, you know what?
And do you like, I made the right decision?
I like to myself in that way, I like to, like, you know what, Dan? You're a man of integrity. Anyway.
Don't worry, guys. But let me tell you one thing. If you see me wearing regalia, Just face your front. Okay? Just face your front. Okay? You know who I am, but you know,
Face your front.
I love my country.
Keep-
That's all I'll say. I love my country. That's all I'm saying.
Anyway, just very briefly, you had mentioned about the show. I was at the agricultural show today. I was there briefly. It is packed. It's colorful. There's a lot of people there. And I was like, you know what? You could be in here and like, Zim is thriving. But, when you start looking closer and closer, you start noticing the telltale signs of, things are not as great as they should be. Like, you know what? Is that candy floss really up to par? Not really,
When was that sugar made?
It's not really up to par. But it was still like it was bright and colorful, and there were plenty of people, and the stands are full. There isn't an empty stand in sight. There's music from every corner. There's clowns and what do you call those? Those people on stilts. It was looking.
Nice.
It was a thing. It was a whole thing. I went to a conference about. It was some long theme about agriculture and technology, and I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to be in this about technology. And I was in there listening to them discussing the latest technologies in artificial goat insemination. I was like, listen, I am not in the right place. Yeah, no, this is not where I should. It was in.
But I mean, that sounds interesting, though. That sounds interesting.
It was not. It was not. Anyway, yeah. Are you going to go to the show, Phil? Let's go to the show. Andeku show.
Couldn't even that.
Just see what's happening. It's an agrarian economy. Let's go see what's happening.
You know what? I do need to start getting cows, but yeah, not night. No.
Oh, you need to start getting cows, Phil. Okay, all right. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
that's
I
good.
need to start saving up. Yeah.
Wow, interesting. Oh, I won't dig deeper into that, but that's interesting statement to make. Cool.
No, as an asset
Phil, let's just leave it there. Let's just leave it. There's no need for us to dig deeper into that.
Yeah.
All right, Phil. Let's wrap this up. It's quite late.
Yeah, man, this is a good one. It was a good one. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I want to talk about Formula One quickly. Sorry, if you don't mind. For TV, movies and TV, book club. I'm starting this weekend. I've been a little busy, guys. Sorry. So I'm also starting the book club, and we're going to get to it. And then we'll be discussing chapters on the podcast as of next week. But finally, F1 finally came to streaming because I wanted to watch it in the cinemas, but I missed it. Have you ever watched a movie so predictable yet so bloody good?
Really?
Oh, it's amazing. I wish I watched it on the big screen. The technology they used to film the races is insane. The races look amazing. But it has all the tropes that you've seen in an underdog show. Like, this is literally like Talladega Nights. Not Talladega Nights.
I never watched that.
Days of Thunder. This is literally Days of Thunder in Formula One. It literally is that with an older man and a black person. But it's bloody. Oh, it's good. Oh, it's so good. Like, I loved it. Oh, that movie is incredible. So if you can, watch Formula One. As big as the screen as possible. What a great watch. And you could tell that they were making the movie for people who don't know anything about Formula One, because there's a lot of exposition explaining like basic Formula One terminology. And there was also, there was so much Hollywooding. There was so much suspension of disbelief you had to do as someone who watches Formula One. You're like, guys, this would not. The stewards would have black flagged this. Could die.
I mean, that's how it is, right? Like, even when you, like, let's say you watch, oh my goodness, what's his name? The football guy on Apple TV.
Geez Louise. Why am I forgetting his name?
Why? It's because it's late, Phil.
And it's such a great show. Yeah, but yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, when you watch it, you're like, brother, this is not how football works. But anyway, it's okay. This was made for an audience who's probably not familiar with it and whatever.
Ted
Lasso, there we go. Yes. Yeah. So
yes, no, but if you can watch Formula One, it's dope. Also, what this nonsense that Paramount and Sundance are now doing with South Park, this South Park new season is terrible. Have you seen what they're doing?
I haven't seen anything past the Trump episode.
They're now releasing an episode every 2 weeks to keep subscriptions running longer.
Yeah. Look, we're in a tough time. It's a tough timeline that we're in, Phil. Tough timeline. I watched season 8 of Rick and Morty.
Mm-hmm. I actually haven't started that show. You tried to get me into that show, and I never did. Really could. I think probably I need to do my drugs.
When it first came out, it felt like, oh, this is just for nerds. But then it was like low-key mainstream. It doesn't feel like that now. Now it feels like the wrong people like it.
Oh, you liked them when they were still independent. When they're still underground.
I don't know, man. I like Dan Harmon and his stuff. I loved Community. I love the premise of most of Rick and Morty, and it's changed a lot now. Yeah, it's
I randomly came across an episode of Community the other day, and I hadn't watched Community in years, and I was so impressed by the depth of the dialogue. I was like, yo, there's so much subtext in this show that I didn't pick up the first time I watched it.
Community is so... If it wasn't for... I can't remember which season it was. I think it was season 3, which was like bad. It was... It to me, it would be the GOAT sitcom. But it's definitely up there. Love that. What's season 3?
Okay, quickly, give me your top 5 sitcoms. Let's go.
Top 5 sitcoms. Okay, in no particular order because I haven't really thought about it right now. So, Community, Modern Family, okay, my personal enjoyment preference, not impact on the world and all of that, right? This is difficult. Phil, why don't you just ask me this now? I need to think. Hold on.
I'm even writing mine down.
I need to think. Hold on. I need to think. So I mentioned Community. I mentioned, you know what I really like? I like New Girl. Fresh Prince. Sorry. Yeah, Fresh Prince, definitely. I need to think. I need to see a list of sitcoms. Hold on. I'm going to put them out there. Yeah, let me hear yours. Are you thinking?
I'm trying to think of number 5.
Oh, The Office. How can I forget The Office? I love The Office, man.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That'll probably be mine too. Okay, so mine in no particular order. Seinfeld, Abbott Elementary,
Really?
Fresh Prince,
Okay.
Curb Your Enthusiasm, The Office. No, Abbott is so good. Ted Lasso and Abbott are probably neck and neck, but Abbott is just a great, like, for me, a great sitcom is no matter how many times I watch it, I'll always laugh.
Yes. Yeah.
I've watched Seinfeld, I don't know how many times, and I can watch it. And the thing that I really hate about how good Seinfeld is, I know he's a Zionist.
Phil, we've discussed this how many times on this podcast. Don't pay too much attention to that because there's no one making stuff.
And even now, almost 40 years later, I'm like, this show still holds up because the situations that they discuss on the show are happening in my life.
So I do like Seinfeld, but I think, I don't know what it is that holds it back from me considering as a GOAT. I view it as like a vanilla background show that I enjoy. And
okay,
I'll just be chuckling. I'll just be like,
Have you watched all the episodes?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, do me a favor. If you can, just watch the last 3 seasons. You don't have to watch just watch the last 3 seasons.
All right, I will do so. So let me just quickly revise mine now that I'm actually looking at a list of sitcoms. So I mentioned Community. I mentioned New Girl. I think I'll hold to that. I wouldn't count it as the most influential or the biggest, but for me, I really enjoyed it. So Community, New Girl, Modern Family, The Office. What was the other one I said? Oh, those are the ones that I've said so far, right? And Fresh Prince. Yeah, I think that's a solid list. I'm happy with that list.
Okay. How do we define a situational comedy? What actually is the definition of a situational comedy? Is In Between is a sitcom?
If you said In Betweeners was your favorite, I'd look at you sideways. But it probably...
No, but In Betweeners was bloody good.
It
didn't
is,
have a lot of episodes,
but it
was
can't be your
bloody
favorite.
No, in-betweeners. In-betweeners is a dude, in-betweeners kills me.
Funny. friend.
No, because I was also just thinking about it. I was like, yo, this is a very American-focused thing, and we're Africans. Like, are they not
British. It was British. It was British.
No. And then that's what brought me to British, because I was also like some British comedies. I remember like growing up, I used to love Desmond's, and then I watched it again when I was older, and I was like, yeah, Desmond's is more of a dramedy to me.
What about
an actual comedy? It's good.
Suburban
Desmond's
Bliss?
is no, Suburban Bliss is not good. It's got funny moments. But
It's not good. Okay, Phil. That's right. We can't spend some time reminiscing on comedies. I gotta go.
All right, guys. No, thank you so much. Please, if you want to speak to us, please send us your questions or let us know your top 5 sitcoms at twobroke-twimbos.com/contact. twobroke-twimbos.com/contact. Don't forget to hit us up on the socials. We may or may not respond. That is at twobroke-twimbos.
We will respond.
And
if you are a Patreon, we'll definitely respond.
Dan is having his Premier League fantasy gambling chuggy. So if you want to do that, please join the Patreon group and hit him up, or hit him up on the Twitters to join that. And don't forget to use #aviation for a 10% discount code. And yeah, no, guys, thank you so much for your support.
When the class action lawsuit comes, they're going to take that clip. Easy.
This has been a really tough time, but you guys have really kept us afloat. And if you are in the Patreon group, don't forget we are beginning reading the book this week. Some I think have already started, but we are reading Cradle by Will Wright. So please start reading it now. Okay, that's for the book club.
Want to give a big shout out to a couple of people who've hit us up, including STT1 Nashe. T1 Nashe. Shout out to you, regularly sending us some suggestions for talking points. Much appreciated. Please feel free to keep sending them through. Shout out to Chitekete Wekwasimango. I think I forgot to shout you out previously. And everyone who regularly gets in touch. Oh, look at this. We've got a request for an interview, Phil. I'll share it with you off the... Yeah, I forgot to... I haven't looked at these DMs in a couple of weeks. There's a request for an interview from actually a pretty big artist. Nice. Anyway, So, look, I think on that note, we want to say thank you very much for tuning in. You can support us on twobroke-twimbos.com/donate, where you can subscribe to the Patreon. Once you subscribe, we'll add you to our WhatsApp groups, should you so choose, and you can be part of the conversations. I promise it's not a spammy group. We just normally have conversations. Although I will say the sports group, which is also optional, has been quite spammy after the Manchester United lost against Grimsby. There's people who are suffering. Yeah.
The copium is high. There's so much copium.
Yeah, so
even like you could have gone to Liverpool. Speaking of the coach, I was like, nah, fam, nah, we weren't taking that.
Even today, I tried to laugh at a Manchester United fan, and I actually felt guilt. So
never that.
I felt never. I thought I would never. I thought no ways, not Manchester United. But today I felt guilt. I won't lie.
Dan, this is how you know we're old. I remember going through puberty during the triple.
Yeah. I know the days of Alex Ferguson. And they were so smug. But today I felt guilty.
They were unbearable. They were unbearable.
So yeah, twobroke-twimbos.com/donate. That's the easy link for you to find a way that you can support us. You can do a once-off payment. You can subscribe to the Patreon. If you subscribe to the Patreon, we'll add you to the group. If you do a once-off payment, we'll add you in temporarily just so you can see what it feels like to be in there if you like. I mean, we are nice. There's some people who have been added temporarily who haven't been taken out yet, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, because they have good vibes. If you have bad vibes in your mind, I'll be like, good.
But if you want to be a Patreon member, please, twobroke-twimbos.com/donate, or you can just search for Two Broke Twimbos on Patreon. Otherwise, another way you can support the podcast is simply by retweeting, resharing, reposting. Just take a screenshot of what you're watching or listening, or what you're listening to rather, and putting it on your social media. Help other people discover the podcast. Please take a moment to rate and review the podcast in whatever app you listen to. I know you hear this so much and it's so annoying, but it helps so much if you just take a moment, just drop a 5-star rating and say nice, and we would appreciate it. Or if you want to say what you want to say.
And also, if you can, like if you just know a friend, just share the podcast with them. Say, I think you might like this. Is fun. Apparently we stopped podcasting because we stopped doing video, but we are still here. We are still podcasting.
We need to fix our
share the podcast with friends.
You still have the webcam is there. The lights are there. You're just not putting it up. It's good enough. Good enough, Philip. We just use Nano Banana to put a background.
Okay.
Next week, let's do video.
Okay, then. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll do that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to another episode. We'll catch you in the next one. We out.
Whoa!